It's that time again when I debase myself for the pleasure of internet strangers. I'm not talking about my erotic gay cam show either. I was gonna say it couldn't have been that fast. I simply already had a bunch of fucking glass that I smelted and didn't use. Hot damn, how convenient is that? Very convenient is the answer. Off to hell we go. Not a sentence you normally plan to say when you get up in the morning. This is still fucking missing and it's bothering me. I'm gonna need a lot of cow flesh for that. Which means I need to go get cows again. On principle, I want to do everything underwater, so I basically have to get cows down here again. Which was not easy. I'm going to space these apart. I'm going to chop these down. I'm going to go ahead and chop these down. Because if I space them apart by one unit, I'm going to go put this glass away. Then I'll be able to grow 3 of them in that space. Okay, I also need, apparently, to make another chest. Yet another. I'm going to need a storage module very, very soon. This is not cutting it. This shit's not going to fly for much longer. I think that'll do it. Ba-doot, doot. Is the sound that it makes when you manufacture chests by hand. It turns out. Who knew? I didn't know. It comes as much a surprise to me as it does to you. It's gonna be a chill video. I'm not feeling super alert. I'm trying to film 2 episodes per night now, just so I can get ahead of the curve, and it's really taxing, actually, surprisingly. Give me those sweet fucking saplings. Oh, yes. Where'd the, there it is. It's not going to be ideal, because it'll grow close enough to where I have to inch my way around it. There's just not a lot of room in here. But there wasn't a lot of room to build, so... And this is not some place I'm going to be spending a lot of time. It's just a utility chamber for growing trees in, specifically. If I thought I could get away with growing more than a number... Maybe I can. Look at how much vertical space there is. I could shift these 1, 2 to the left, and maybe grow them 2 by 2, and I would be able to grow 6 instead of 3. I may experiment with that once I have enough saplings. Once I have enough saplings to do that with. Let's go upstairs and build that fucking tunnel. Or no, it's not the tunnel I'm building anymore, is it? It's the building that those homes next to, which is going to be more farming space. What crops? What crops do I fucking farm there? What do I not have? I don't have any of the melons. I don't have watermelon and I don't have pumpkins. And is there anything else? I don't think there's any melons besides that. I don't have cocoa pods. Do I need cocoa pods? Is that a priority in hell? I don't know. I don't think so. I want to say that in hell, chocolate would not be high on my list of priorities because it gets melty. Chocolate is not pleasant when it's hot. Go eat some heated chocolate and tell me how much enjoyment you get out of it. Make sure it's not poo-poo first. I mean, that's elementary. That's like the first thing you learn about untrustworthy chocolate. I'm just saying, though. Because I saw this YouTube video of Ugandan pastor saying, "Don't eat the poo-poo." And I assume that's important. For, like, spiritual reasons? If that's a thing. I remember when I went to that Christian school asking about the period after the rapture has occurred and everybody else is left behind, and demons start to flood onto the surface of the earth and are fought by human armies, but we perish. And I was like, this was written back when the best weapons we had were like swords and shields and chariots. Are you telling me we couldn't beat... Shit! That we couldn't beat demons with like lasers and plasma guns and shit? That we couldn't... Because that sounds rad as hell. I might want to stay behind just so I can be the real life Doom guy. But of course, the answer was no, you can't successfully fight demons because that wouldn't work for the story that they want to tell. That's not the point that they're trying to get across. I'm making this one with 3 tall windows instead of 2 just because I can. Because I want to make a nicer, more spacious building. Am I making the right call, though? I think so. No, I'm not. Because if I do that, then it's not going to line... Well, it doesn't have to line up, because this is already at the top floor, so it doesn't have to line up with any of the other floors, because I'm not going to connect them. I kind of want them to match, though. Oh! And it'll be fine, because if I add another floor at this level, made out of those stone slabs, this will just be the waist-high floor of the next... Alright, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. The absolute madman. He actually did it. Fuck you up there. I don't know you, but fuck you. I want you to know that. I want you to know I feel that way. Yes. Yes. I'll have to get some glowstone to put in here. I don't know if I need to, because I don't need to keep it lit up, because there's nothing I can do in the Nether to stop Nether creatures from spawning where I don't want them to. That's just something I have to fucking deal with if I live here. I can keep ghast from spawning by limiting the vertical space, which is part of the reason why I made those windows shorter, because the floors are only going to be as tall as they are here. I don't have a lot. I need to get stone, but this time not squandered stone, which is going to be the difficult fucking part of it. I need to not squander the stone making more stone brick, as I almost reflexively do at this point. Rather, I need to make stone slabs. Slabs. It feels oddly satisfying to say. It's a lot of fucking iron. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Probably I'm going to use that iron to make the funnels for the auto smelter, since that takes a shockingly large and wasteful amount of iron. Okay, I'm off to the overworld to spend 1,000 years gathering stone. Wait, hold on. Come on, no saplings? Really? I don't need apples. Hungry for apples? No, I'm not. I'm not. I could give 2 shits about an apple. I won't. I'll give 0.5 shits. That's all you're gonna get from me. My asshole is clenched in protest and will dispense only a single soft serve style, perfectly coiled up shit, constituting 50% of the normal weight and volume of my regular leavings, my regular stools, in the common parlance of professional poopers the world over. Professional, is that a job? I don't want to Google it. I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't want to know. Probably it is though. Probably in Germany and Japan. I want to say there's somebody probably for like poop porn. There's a dude they pay to be the professional pooper. What does his LinkedIn look like? Does he? What does his portfolio look like? Does he have like photos of the different like shits he's taken? Because I have plenty of those pictures. I always take one when it's unusually like large. Can I make money this way? Dare I live as few men have dared dream? Dare I? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. This is... I need to build like a high-speed rail just to get from... Or they could fucking fix how portals work, so I would go back to the same portal every time. In my old sea base map, this was not a problem. The portals worked correctly, and I would go directly back to my sea base when I would exit the Nether. I wonder if a ghast has ever gotten back to the overworld through a portal. I would blast terror turds until they filled up my pantaloons to the very brim, if that happened. I didn't even want to think about it, frankly. Shit's terrifying. Like, can you imagine seeing a ghast in the blue skied overworld? Or just like a steady stream of... Speaking of which, while I'm down here, I should see if I have any feathers to make arrows with, so I can kill some of those sons of bitches. Some bitches. I will mine. I will come back and mine, but I need to make sure first. Feathers. Yes! Just enough to make 2 arrows. Although I think it makes 4 each, so that's 8. That's enough that I think I can kill 4 ghast if my aim is perfect. Which, of course, it always is. Because I desire it to be so. Let's see. Did I leave any fucking feathers in my personal chest? You know how they say there's somebody out there for everybody? Not for Brian Peppers. Remember Brian Peppers, that guy with a horribly mutated face? Or Christian Weston Chandler, for sure he's going to die alone. Probably sooner rather than later. And it's popular to hate on those like hot girls who are all on their Facebook are like, oh, I'm so lonely and single, how come no guys like me? And it's like a billion fucking guys like you. What you mean is no guy substantially hotter than I am likes me. But then again, men do the same thing. I do the same thing. I'll bitch about how I've been like single for a long time. There are still gross fatties that come on to me. I would rather be alone than try to climb Mount Lard. Like these are chicks who look like Grimace from the purple guy from the McDonald's commercials. I gotta applaud their ambition. You know, I gotta give it to them for daring to dream. I'll make a stove out of that. But there's no fucking feathers. Why can't life be easy? Why can't life be easy? So I shouldn't be like, oh, I'm so lonely. There's nobody who wants to date me. When there are, you know, beastly women who undoubtedly would like to get their, you know, Miss Piggy Flipper claws on me. I'll try to keep that in mind. That's the perspective. That it's not really a comfort unless you're really fucking brutally real with yourself. Unless you have as little tolerance for your own whining as you do for anybody else's. Like when I feel like I have it bad, I'm like, shut the. You're in fucking VR. You've got food like 20 feet away from you. You have a cat. You've got a nice car. You're not one of those babies in Africa with the huge basketball belly, which I assume is what's in there that hatches out of them, and that's why there's that whole thing with the NBA and melanated gentlemen. I think it's like the movie Alien. It just bursts out of their stomach, and then the basketball opens up, and there's like a face hugger. I'm not a scientist. Don't listen to me. Probably that's how it works, though. Why am I doing it here when I could be finding diamonds if I go a little bit deeper? Ooh, go deeper. Go deeper! Yeah! Was it this way, or was it this? It was this way. It turns out, once again, the problem is with my stupid brain. The same brain which notoriously told me it was a good idea to invest $70 into Dogecoin. That's right, a meme currency, a literal meme currency, not just a figure of speech. So if ever you get down on yourself and you feel like you're dumb, remember that I invested in Dogecoin, and I thought I was going to get crazy rich off of that, because for a while it was doing really well. And somehow I couldn't foresee that it wasn't going to last forever. Who could have predicted that? Wow. If there was a Pepe coin, probably. At least before the whole Nazi thing, it probably would have done really well. If somebody thought to cap... Probably there already is. Probably I missed that. Give me some fucking diamonds! He gently requested in his most diplomatic tone. Come on. Come on has never been an effective argument. If you're arguing with somebody, just try saying, come on. Come on. Come on. It never persuades anybody of anything, and I don't know why it feels like it would. It feels like it would work, but it never does. I don't really know why it feels like it would work either. Come on. It's like, invest all your money in my perpetual motion machine. I don't know. Come on. Well, when you say it that way, gosh darn it, I'll do it. Yes, I knew it. Works every time. 70% of the time. Works every time. You know, there's no more certain way to isolate yourself than to be the guy who says what everybody quietly knows is true but doesn't want to be true. Like in a discussion about space, saying probably we're going to grow old and die, and still there will be no base on Mars. And you get a whole bunch of people, and it's not, they assume I don't want there to be. Why the fuck wouldn't I want there to be? That's rad. That's an awesome thing. Of course I want there to be. It just doesn't feel realistic. It feels like disappointment is the status quo. So it's more realistic to expect that there will just be more excuses, because they keep saying we'll do it, we'll do it, we'll do it, but then there's not a corresponding increase in the budget. And unless the budget drastically increases, we're not going to Mars no matter what. No matter what you've seen on Facebook, or no matter what they say to the press. Manned space travel is fucking expensive, and if it doesn't get funded, then it doesn't happen, period. For some reason, I have a compulsive need to be the guy who points out shit like that. It's not that people don't know. They know. It's just that they don't want it. I guess some part of me finds it irritating that they think that practical considerations go away because of romanticism, and just because they personally want something to happen, or because they see a lot of flashy CGI renders and press releases that makes it more real, more realistic, more likely to actually occur, when of course it means nothing of the sort. I'm sure I'm irritating to them too, but I can't help. I'm a party pooper. I poop on parties. I poop at parties. That's, well, you know, the song told me to get swifty. I have to do what song lyrics tell me to do. That's the law. Everybody is beholden to that age-old mystical law, which we are all powerless to disobey. You gotta get swifter. Gotta shit on the floor. Gotta take off your pants and your panties. How did he know I was wearing panties? That's the real mystery here. Only my therapist knows about that. I miss the days when that would have been a joke that people would have laughed at, and it would have been lighthearted and wholesome, somewhat. Now it's quote-unquote transphobic. What's going to be the next phobe? What's going to be the next thing they attach the word phobia to in order to delegitimize the horror people feel about it? I want to say it's going to be animals, because I see movement in that direction, kind of. And if you can say that animals are able to, you know, have sex with humans despite the fact they can't consent, then it sets a precedent, which is useful for certain other things. So if you try to chart it out in terms of what precedent would be useful to set for the next step along that path, you can kind of get a roadmap of where they probably want to take it. And that's the funniest shit to me, is that those admittedly retarded old Republican men who were made fun of for saying there was a slippery slope were right. It's happening exactly like they said it would. They were like, gay marriage is going to be the last thing. Gay marriage will be the last thing. It's absurd to say there will be anything after this. And then there was something after it. And now they're not even admitting that that was ever implied. They say, well, no one promised you that gay marriage was going to be the end of it. I never heard that. I never said that. Of course they fucking did. That was, Jon Stewart implied it. Stephen Colbert implied it. Everybody implied. But it was absurdity to suggest that gay marriage was not the final step in the civil rights, battle. But now that we've got all this trans stuff, and it's like, what's this transsexual stuff? I mean, even that I can handle. I watched some pretty disturbing anime. I understand a man in a dress pretending to be a lady. But there's other shit that's invariably going to come after that. And of course now they'll mock you for in the same way for saying nothing's going to come after trans rights. Nothing. This is the last step. This is the last step. And in the future they'll say, we never said that. We never said trans rights will be the last thing. When it's fucking robot sex or something, I don't know. Gravel. Gravel. What? No, it was back here. It was back here. Yes. What do I need gravel for? Anything? Literally nothing. And I don't need it for anything. I'm gonna go back there and mine some more. I think I'm getting pretty close to time though. I haven't had much cool to show you this time around because I had to get a shitload of stone slab, and there's only one way I know to do that efficiently. Until they add auto miners into the game, at which point all bets are off and you can automate fucking anything. Because at that point, you could just use pistons to auto-mine material by burrowing, and then use something that automatically lay down tracks, and use chest carts to ferry materials from the mining machine back to where you want them, where you want to smelt them. Unless you can put the smelter on board the piston-driven mining machine, there's possibilities. Let's leave it at that. But it would also kind of defeat the whole point of the game if you didn't have to manually mine, because then if you can automate even mining and crafting, the two things that are in the title, it gets kind of stupid. It's like Progress Quest, that old game where it totally played itself for you, and it's just meters. You were watching meters fill up until you leveled up. Oh yes, delicious irons. Iron is not too bad. That's a good consolation prize. It's a good second place. It's a silver medal, like kissing your sister. Unless you're in Alabama, then that's the gold medal. That's first place. I'm being too unfair on Alabama. Also Arkansas. Let's be fair. Also Arkansas. And Mississippi. Same way in Mississippi. Or like kiss a sibling. If it's good enough for Luke Skywalker, dang it, it's good enough for me. That would have been a much funnier movie if they went a lot further than that before discovering they were related. Just the whole rest of the music would whole rest of the movie would have been just puking, like 90 minutes, 80 minutes, I guess, since you got to build up to it, and then just vomiting, like that scene in Family Guy where they all have epicac and they can't stop throwing up. That's what the next thing's going to be, is trying to legalize incest. Then what will they make fun of the rural poor for? That'll deprive me of a lot of material too. I want some fucking diamonds. How is this so difficult? How am I supposed to replenish my supply of... I have full enchants, and yet it's still taking me long enough to find new diamonds that I can't actually sustain my tools. That seems to suggest to me that the spawn rate for diamonds is too low. Yay, some soil. I can use this to expand the oasis. Maybe if they remaster Star Wars again, they can splice in some fucking incest sex scenes. And with Yoda. Between Yoda and Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan and Yoda is what the people want to see. The people just being me. And probably some fetishists on DeviantArt. Oh, expertly suck my wrinkled little penis, you are. I have to say, it's not really arousing me. I'm not excited. You will be. You will be. Okay, here's some fucking lava, which means if I burrow up by one, nope, just more death. If I burrow up from here, uh-oh, I should be able to get to the lava pool that this is coming from. And here it is. And here I am in the upper level of my mine. Oh, that's these fuckers. I should put you out of your misery, finally. But I won't, because it's funny. Your suffering is funny to me. And you deserve it. Let's be real. You deserve it. You know, that actually solves the problem of evil pretty well. The philosophical problem of evil. Like, if the Supreme Being is just a sadist who takes pleasure in our suffering, that would make sense of a lot of different theological problems. Like, the only Supreme Being that doesn't make any sense is the omnibenevolent one. If there's just a sadistic Supreme Being who made all this just to watch us struggle through life and suffer, that completely explains everything that didn't make sense before. Is that gonna... It's not. I can leave it like that, okay. I have to go around this, apparently. Which makes sense, that, you know, in real life they just mine around blobs of lava that stop mysteriously. If I'm not funny, it's because I'm tired as shit. I do this for you. Everything I do it for you. Sexually. Can I dig in this far? I'm fine so far. I'm fine, I can go around it. I really can go around it. Except there's lava down there I don't want to fall into. I also don't want to completely plug it because that could be valuable. Hello, is that a... Is that a natural tunnel? If it is, that's going to be a gold mine of different minerals. Glad I made some extra torches. Sadly, I must go back up there to offload the... I'm laden with ore. What's in there, though? What is in that tunnel? Probably bad stuff. Probably nothing I want any part of, realistically. Except there could be diamond in there. What? God, what if there's fucking diamond? What if there's diamond? Is the question you have to ask yourself. Okay, and I gotta get rid of the andesite. Man, fuck you, andesite. Nobody likes your style. I'll take a peek in that tunnel next time. I know that that's agonizing, but that's what's going to keep you coming back to watch the videos. What is in that fucking tunnel? Probably a shitload of monsters and my immediate, like, instantaneous death. I put my head in there. There will be a skeleton on a spider, and on the skeleton will be a smaller spider, and then there'll be a pig man with some zombies on that fucking thing. Like the Ultra Zord. Remember the Ultra Zord where they had the Megazord, but it was a Mega Dragon Zord, and he's riding on top of that Brontosaurus, or I guess a Patasaur now, since Brontosaurus was like a categorization error. Like they misinterpreted the bones. I don't know how that applies to Power Rangers. Anyways, click like and subscribe. Tune in next time to find out what the fuck is in that tunnel, and to see me hopefully finish building that secondary farming tower in the Nether.